Welcome to Financially Focused. I'm Denise Williams, and I'm also here with Bridget Buckner. And we're giving a big shout out to the Credit Repair Jamaica team. And, we're asking you, what is your debt freedom style? And you says, what do you mean, what's the debt freedom style? But each of us on our journey, right, to be debt free, we take a different approach. Okay. And Bridge, unfortunately, a lot of us take the approach of doing nothing and hiding, you know, and that solves absolutely nothing.
At all.
Yeah. And so let's just run through what we consider a great plan of action for you to consider. So always know what your priorities is. Now, one of the challenge with debt is that it is the energy of the past. So the decisions you made in the past then becomes your debt. And so the priority you had 2, 3, 10, 20 years ago may not be your priority today. And so that may be even why the debt is giving you stress and anxiety in a way that you're not used to. I don't know, how does that sound to you, Bridget?
Yeah, this is so important. It sounds great. I love the direction. I love direction. Priorities are the key. What we somebody once said, if I can remember the phrase, where your focus goes, your money flows.
Right.
So, it's the same thing. Where your money is leaving,
Yes.
that's that's probably where you've been either focused or not focused enough on. It depends on which direction the money is flowing, and any changes in our finances is going to be directly related to the changes in our priorities.
All right. Well, a priority should be to subscribe and share to this channel. Now, one of the critical things is who is on your debt reduction support team. Now, as we go through this presentation, you'll understand why Bridget and I actually have different roles on your team. And it's important to have a team. So debt reduction doesn't work. I'm sorry, debt consolidation doesn't work without a plan. How can I say that? Well, I am an approved counselor, an approved financial counselor, and I help people who declare bankruptcy. And one of the things I have seen since the start of the year is how many persons have done 1, 2, 3, as much as 4 debt consolidation plans before they give up and declare bankruptcy. Now,
Wow.
yeah, and the reasons are different. So, for example, someone took on student loans thinking that the better educated they would be, the more they would earn, except that they took on the loan and couldn't finish the degree and have not seen the bump in salary.
Oh
And
no.
I know. And so they're stuck with the loan, stuck with the same salary. Okay. So they didn't have any counseling. And so they then even better or worse, they went out and borrowed money to try and do an income generating activity with their family. Okay. And so what they did was they leased a farm. So they didn't own the land, they leased the farm and said, okay, dear family members, see the farm over there? You run the farm, sell the animals, make the profit so I can clear the loan. Well, I guess I hope nobody's wondering how that went for them to end up in front of me in bankruptcy,
Oh
because
no.
the family wasn't able to run the farm, so they didn't have any cash coming in to service their debt, and so they ended up with the student loan and the farm loan, no income. Another client borrowed again to build income by having a taxi service. Okay. Now, the unfortunate thing for my client, but the great thing for the mechanic, was that they bought an old vehicle. And so they're running to the mechanic every minute. And as the cost of the repairs went up, they had to borrow to do the repairs. Okay. And then, of course, as these things would have it, the taxi crashed. I know. I mean, I can go on and on about the stories of persons who did debt consolidation without a plan. Let me be clear. You get to choose how you plan for your money. But to avoid future troubles, work with a professional, not a lone salesperson. That's not a professional planner. That is a lone person.
Right.
And so if debt consolidation is your freedom plan, well, boy, I don't know. Because again, another client who is 2 years from retirement feels like, she did a debt consolidation and feels like she will never be out of debt, and she's 2 years from retirement. So your priorities have to be in place. Okay. But there is something that does work. Okay. And I want to introduce another debt freedom plan that can work. Okay. Negotiation with your banker. Okay. This is a tough one, because what happens at first is that either you make an appointment, you write a letter, you send an email, and you get to some kind of clerk, some kind of administrative person who does not have decision-making power. And so because they don't have decision-making power, you feel like your negotiation has failed. That's not true.
Right.
If you take 2, 3, 4 letters, you must get to a decision maker. Okay? And then you negotiate. And then you're going to say, but what's the difference between a negotiation and a debt consolidation? Well, the thing is, the debt consolidation is just a loan product they sell to you.
Right.
Negotiation, the banker, when you finally get to a decision maker, the loan person who can make the decision will drill you with questions about how you're going to change your life.
Right.
And if they're going to drill you with questions on how you're going to change your life, that is when the negotiation works, because you better have your priorities straight. Now, of course, this works well when you hire a professional at www.creditrepairja.com. Let me say it again, www.creditrepairja.com. So negotiation is the style that gets results. Now, when you go from there, there's another style that may be obvious, but normally not said in the context of clearing your debt. And what is that? That is, well, of course, having the right people on your support team, but also your income plan. When you are drowning in debt, all of your energy is in the debt. Your energy is not in growing your income. But again, what did we say at first? What is your priority? What are your priorities? So, Bridget, talk to me about the mindset of growing income.
In terms of priorities?
Yeah, the priority of making sure you earn more money.
The truth is that one has to know where they want to be and where they are, where they are is satisfying or not. The truth
Right.
is, people want a lot. People wish for a lot. People hope for a lot. And then there's another set of people who don't believe they can. And then their conversation is, well, it's easy for you to say, well, you were born with a gold spoon, or well, you have this, or well, you have that. They make excuses for why someone else is successful and not them, because that person had this, that, or that going for them, and they don't even know the half of that person's story and the struggles that they have had to overcome. So priorities for me is, what do you want to achieve? And then, without looking at anyone else, without looking at what the economy is indicating, without looking what other people are thinking or saying, once you are convicted of where you want to be, then you work back ways. I want to achieve this by such a time. That means I need to do these 3 steps. And you have to then come into the present and realize that if I'm going to do these 3 steps, either I need to allocate more time, maybe I need to give up some TV time, maybe I need to stop hanging around some negative thinking people, maybe I
Right.
need to read a book, maybe I need to do something. But you have to be willing to reallocate, to change, to shift, to do the activity that's going to get you to where you're going. And it boils down to priorities. It boils down to how important is your goals to you. And I tell people that I mentor sometimes, I say, if you're not quite clear on your goal, you're not quite clear on what you want, then get very clear. Listen to this, guys. Get very, very, very clear on all that you do not want.
Right.
Yeah, I do not want to be 65 and struggling. I don't want to have a medical emergency and can't afford it. I don't want to be able to not pay for this or that. I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to be stuck in the house. I don't want to not have options. I don't want. You're a young mother. I don't want my child to have to go to daycare. I wish I could stay home with my young baby that was just born. You are a husband and wife team, and husband goes one direction, wife goes one direction, we hardly see each other. Man, I don't want to have these kinds of demanding jobs. And just for economics, I work in 15 hours, he work in 15 hours, we coming together in the evening, we're so tired, we go to bed, we're so anxious to get the day going, the next day we're gone. I don't like that lifestyle. What
Right.
are the things that you do not want? And then what do you need to do to change that? So if it's time, I need more time. If it's money, I need more money. If it's a relationship, I want to spend, whatever it is. Then once you get those priorities straight, I think that it drives people, Denise, to take action, because plenty of people have debt and they know they should get rid of the debt, but they're not driven to take action. Plenty of people don't have enough money, but they're not driven. Then it's not hurting bad enough for them to be driven to take some new steps. I think
Right.
once you're able to get clear on your priorities or the things you really don't want anymore, you get driven to make some changes. And then it's just seeking out the mentorship, seeking out the education, and then, being very consistent in making those changes to, get things done. And
Right.
paying off debt should be everybody's priority.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, in order to get debt free in 7 years or less, what we're saying is, number one, get your priorities straight. Number two, do not take a debt consolidation loan unless you have a plan. And that plan must include behavior change.
Absolutely.
Also saying that negotiating with the bank is the number one way to get, right, the information and support you need. And we're also saying, do not be discouraged, because, ladies and gentlemen, the first person you're always going to run into is a low level person that's not a decision maker. So this is what I need you to understand. And so in following these plans, you can become debt free in 7 years or less. Average out is 3 years, because you have a plan and you're willing to do the work. And in order to avoid future troubles, you're going to visit creditrepairja.com. Get your step-by-step plan when you make an appointment. Making the appointment is a choice because only you can decide how long you want to carry this debt. And so we encourage you to consider this an option. Consider getting help an option when you are putting together your debt clearing plan, when you want to be debt free. This is the place you're going to go and you're going to get help. Okay. Of course, on the income side, you're going to talk to Bridget Buckner, 876-440-9168. And I just want to thank you all for being with us in this conversation. I want to encourage you to also visit our playlist because we want you to not reject money. We've got a lot of great information and I want you to check it out and consider incorporating a lot of the strategies we give you in your plan. So you can contact me directly, 876-409-5116, financiallyfocusedmedia.com. And of course, creditrepairjamaica.com. So it's creditrepairja.com. I am Denise Williams, your financial coach. I thank you. And Bridget, do you have any parting comments about getting out of debt?
You know, I have a pause in that moment because, you know, again, everything happens between the two ears. There is a mindset shift that needs to happen. And so I encourage people that if they're, like I said, if you're not clear what you want to do, if you're not clear how or what, number one, get a mentor.
Right.
Definitely get a mentor and find a structure. So if you need to start exposing yourself to new material, reading something about, you know, debt or money and money management and these kinds of things, begin to expand the mind so that in case you're slow to action, sometimes new information gives you some new perspectives that will make you realize that if you keep going slow and if you keep not taking action and if you keep staying in debt, life is not going to get better. It's going to get worse because if you're not going forward, you're not even staying the same. The world is moving so fast, you're moving backwards, and you cannot afford, as the world is changing and as you're getting older, for debt to take you over, for debt to restrict you, for debt to make you pay higher interest rates, for debt to allow you to have a bad reputation, for debt to allow the bank not to give you any leniency, any scope. You have no leverage. You can't get a loan. You can't do nothing. If it's even good debt, there's good debt and bad debt. And people need to know the difference that, you know, when you go in debt to make money and debt to leverage and make business is one thing, but consumer debt is a whole other thing. If your debt is because of shoes and clothes and stuff like that, and it's not anything that's bearing you any interest, you have to begin to look at it. And sometimes you don't recognize what's going wrong. And that's why I said, read a book, read some stuff on financing, read some stuff on wealth creation, get around some people who understand money and investing and making money and making business and building big dreams and achieving things. Get around some achievers. And you'll suddenly realize that your current situation, if it is debt-ridden, is not a happy place. And perhaps that will drive you to taking the decisions, to do the daily actions, to actually repair and recover from debt. And call you, Denise. They should call you. You're really the Caribbean representative for debt repair across Jamaica and all the Caribbean islands. And the Caribbean people have debt as well. It's almost like an epidemic. Debt is critical. And if someone like yourself and the whole credit restoration process is something that is structured, something that someone can actually get help with, then I would say swallow your pride. You know, pride is the number one thing that will keep people from taking action. And if pride is going to keep you where you are, then evaluate how's that working for you. There come a time when you have to swallow pride. And I know all about that because I've had to swallow my pride in many instances in different areas of life just to get to the next level. So pride. Just get rid of pride and reach out for help. Don't sit there confused. If you have debt, there is a way to get out of it, and it's just going to take work to systematically work there. And if you need a mentor, get one And
That's
you
right.
have one right here on this call, in Denise Williams, who
Thank
is
you.
just really an amazing woman. And that's not just plugging you because I'm a guest on the call. It's just because I am in this space and it just makes sense. It's just common sense. I mean, how can you have a structure and not take advantage of it? So it's not a plug. It really just is a genuine expression of what makes sense for someone to get from one level to the next. And if your priority is debt repair, then duh.
Yeah.
Go to
So
someone
again,
who knows how to do that, you know?
that's right. So www.creditrepairja.com. We have so many resources. Drop us a line, make an appointment. We are here to help. I want to thank you, Bridget, for being on the program. My name is Denise Williams. I'm your financial coach, and we will talk again.